Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today we're going to be doing some little D Exodia test hands. So I'm really excited to see you guys because this is actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Tyler. And this deck is one of the most amazing decks in the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it can summon out the most powerful monster ever created. Little D. So, without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of Notification Squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards, like in your name description in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your patron, along with test hands. And definitely give Tyler some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such an awesome deck. So let's get straight on into this one, guys. This deck is a really awesome deck that literally plays the most powerful monster ever created, and it just gets absolutely massive with all the equip spells that we're going to be equipping to our copies of our little D, which is just really amazing. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck, and you guys know the rule. We got to pile shuffle. That is dad rule number one. We've got to pile shuffle the deck so we don't brick, but this deck never bricks because we play little D in it. So we never are going to brick because we play the literal most powerful monster ever created, which is just an amazing thing to be able to do. And it's super quick to be able to summon that monster out to our side of the field and just make it absolutely massive with all of the equip spells that we play. So let's go ahead and see what we can do now that we've pile shuffled the deck. We're going to go ahead and give the deck a quick shuffle and then see what we can do with the deck. So let's go ahead and draw and see what we can get. We're going to draw into a copy of Moon Mirror Shield. That's really good. Power of the Guardians, Pot of Extravagance, Little D. See, we already got our combo piece, the only monster we're ever going to need, and a copy of the bow, Shooting Star Bow, which is a really awesome card. So what we're going to do is immediately activate the copy of Pot of Extravagance, shuffle up the extract, hope we don't hit our copies of Sandwich, the most powerful fusion monster ever created. We're going to go ahead and shuffle up the extract just to make sure that we don't hit all of those copies. And we're going to go ahead and get rid of these three right here and these three more. And now we have 6 total that we're banishing right here. So let's go ahead and see what we can draw to see if we can get some more equip spells for our copies of our little D. So we're going to draw into a copy of Unexpected Die and an Upstart Goblin. So we can't activate the Upstart Goblin this turn because we do have the Pot of Extravagance, but this deck has so much draw power in it, you don't really need it anyway. So at this point, you can activate the copy of Unexpected Die since we don't control a monster, and what's better than one copy of Little D, but 2. So we're going to summon out 1 copy from the deck, and then we have a second copy that we can actually summon from our hand, which is really good because you can actually get 2 of them on your side of the field extremely quickly. Now we're just going to make one of them absolutely massive because we're going to equip it with a copy of Moon Mirror Shield to this one, a copy of Power of the Guardians to this one, and then you can actually equip it with the Star Bow, which is a really good equip spell to be able to equip to because now it can attack directly. Every time it battles, it's going to get a counter, and the Moon Mirror Shield is going to make it so your opponent can't attack over this already extremely powerful monster, which is really good. If you guys have never read the text for this card, it actually says, yo, this Tyrannosaurus Tots got a terrible tempa, which is really good for this card because it's just the best card. So we're going to go ahead and pass over to the opponent. They're not going to be able to out this card, and we're going to go ahead and draw for turn, which we're going to draw into a copy of Morphing Jar, which is already really good because we can set it to our side of the field and then basically draw 5 cards, which is just going to get us more cards for the copy of Little D. So we're going to go ahead and activate Upstart Goblin because it's not going to matter that our opponent gains 1,000 life points. And we're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of Pot of Duality, which is pretty good because we're not going to special summon this turn anyways. So we're going to go ahead and activate, why would we need to? We already have our boss monster. We're going to activate the copy of Pot of Duality to draw the top 3 cards and then reveal them and add one of them into our hand. So we're going to go ahead and activate Skill Drain. We're going to grab the copy of Skill Drain from those 3. Little D doesn't need an effect because it already has all the equip spells and it's already so powerful that you really just don't need any of that. You don't need an effect on this card. So we're just going to set the copy of Skill Drain and set the copy of Morphing Jar. So once we go over and pass over to the opponent, every time this card is going to attack directly. So we're going to go ahead and attack directly 1 time. And this card is actually going to get 1 counter on it for Power of the Guardian. So it did do 100 points of damage right off the bat because this drops it down by 1,000 attack points, which is not that big of a deal. With the Power of the Guardians, it's going to go back up to 6, and it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger, which is really awesome for this deck. So then we're going to pass over to the opponent. We pass over to the opponent. They're going to attack into this copy of Morphing Jar, which is just going to give us all the resources that we need. We're going to go ahead and draw 5 new cards off the top of the deck, which is going to help us out a lot because we actually got Mage Power, which is going to make our copy of Little D absolutely huge, which is just absolutely awesome. So we're going to go ahead and get this card to the graveyard. And then once they attack, we can activate the skill drain because we didn't want to turn off our copy of Morphing Jar so we can get all of these cards. So our opponent's going to pass back over to us and we're going to draw for turn with 6 cards. Look at this deck. We've already gone +6, which is really, really amazing because we drew for turn, which is a plus. And then we're going to go ahead and activate the copy of Pot of Duality to be able to look at the top 3 cards of our deck, which is a copy of Mystic Mine that we're going to grab, which is just going to be really nice for us to be able to grab that copy of Mystic Mine, which is just such a powerful field spell to be able to grab from the deck. It's really an amazing card and really helps out this deck a lot. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck, and once we do, we're going to go ahead and set this to graveyard. And once you send that to graveyard, you're going to set the copy of Mystic Mine because we don't need it. We're just going to set it. We don't need that card yet. We already have our boss monster. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and activate the copy of Mage Power on the copy of Little D, which is going to boost it up by 6 times 5, which is 3k. And now this card can attack directly again, which is going to boost this up again. So now it's going up by 4,000 attack points, which is pretty good for this card to be able to go up that amount. It was already big enough, but you know, extra attack points is just always nice. Why not? And then we also have a copy of Exodia, the Forbidden One, that we can normal summon to our side of the field, which is just really good to be able to normal summon Exodia, the Forbidden One, because it's really a good card. It's not quite as good as Little D, but it's still pretty good to put on your side of the field. It's just an extra monster if you need it. You're never going to go into any XZ plays because we don't need those cards in this deck. We play only fusion cards that we can go in with our crazy awesome tech, Cyberstein. So at that point, you pretty much are going to win the game because you're just going to attack a couple of more times with Little D and pretty much get your opponent with that copy of the card. So we're going to go ahead and go into the next test hand and see what we can do. So we're going to go ahead and put these down really quick, put our copy of Mystic Mine back on top of the deck, and then we're going to shuffle up the deck, and thank goodness we're in between rounds and we have a sandwich because we're going to be hungry in between rounds. That's one of the most important reasons that you play sandwich in the extra deck is because in between duels you might need one because you might get hungry. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for the next one. We're going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck and see what we can do because this deck is just so good. It's really amazing because you just get out that really powerful boss monster that you need on your side of the field. So we're going to go ahead and give the deck a little shuffle. So let's see what we can do for the next one. So we're going to draw into a copy of Moon Mirror Shield, same thing as last time. A copy of Right Leg of the Forbidden One, Moon Mirror Shield, a copy of Little DC, it's so consistent every time, a copy of Archfiend Staff of Despair. So this is already really good because we have double Moon Mirror Shield. We're only going to get one on the field, but you really only need one because it's already like so powerful. You don't need more than one. The second one was just kind of playing overplaying, like you didn't need it, but we're just going to summon out this one. We're going to activate Moon Mirror Shield because activating the copy of Archfiend Staff of Despair might be a little too much for the opponent, so we're going to go ahead and pass over to them and let them go ahead. So once we let them go ahead, you have the Moon Mirror Shield on it, so they're not going to be able to attack over. They weren't going to anyways, but we're going to go ahead and pass over to the opponent. And once we pass over to the opponent, we're going to go ahead and let them go, and they're not going to be able to get through this card, so we're going to draw for turn, which is going to be pretty good to be able to go in and basically get a copy of Unexpected Die, which we're not going to need anyways. We're going to normal summon out that copy of the Right Leg of the Forbidden One, and then we're going to activate the copy of Moon Mirror Shield on it to be able to get 2 pretty powerful monsters. One is obviously more powerful than the other, but we're going to go ahead and activate the copy of Archfiend Staff of Despair and set the copy of Unexpected Die, just in case they might kaiju through the Little D. So the effect of Archfiend Staff of Despair has the ability that you equip only to a monster that you control, and during the main phase, you can make all monsters your opponent currently control lose attack equal to the amount of the monster, they can lose attack equal to the monster's attack. So it's going to lose 1,100 points, which is pretty good, but we're just going to attack over them anyways. But this card just basically helps out a little bit to be able to reduce the opponent's monster's attack down. So we're going to go ahead and pass back to us, and we're going to draw again, and we're going to draw into a Power of the Guardians that we can equip onto the copy of Little D, which is going to help us out a lot to be able to put it on the copy of Little D, because then when it attacks, you're going to be able to put additional counters on it, which is just going to make it get bigger and bigger to be able to go in for game. We also have the Unexpected Die that if our opponent does kaiju through it, we can just get a second copy of it, which is just really, really good. So now we're going to pass over to the opponent and see what they can do, and we're going to draw into the next turn, get Terraforming. We're going to activate it anyways because we already used all the zones, and they probably would have lost by then anyway. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for the next one. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck and see what we can do. So we're going to shuffle up the deck really quick and see if we can draw into it for a third time, which we absolutely will probably draw into it because, again, this deck is super, super consistent, and I hope that we can because this deck is just absolutely insane. If we can't, we have plenty of ways to wait it out until we get to that card, but that's totally fine. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck, and we're going to go ahead and give it a quick cut and see what we can do. Let's give it a quick cut and see what we can actually pull off with this next test hand. So we're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of Mystic Mind. See, we already have ways to wait it out if we need to. A copy of Moon Mirror Shield, Mage Power. Oh, there we go. Little again. Okay. A copy of Upstart Goblin. Wow. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and activate the Upstart Goblin, and we're going to draw into a copy of the Pot of Duality. Activate Pot of Duality, and we're going to go ahead and look at the top 3 of our deck, which we have Unexpected Die. We can get 2 copies out on our side of the field. We already have the Moon Mirror Shield. We don't really need any of the other cards. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck. And once we shuffle up the deck, we're going to activate that copy of Unexpected Die right off the bat to be able to special summon out to our side of the field our most powerful boss monster ever created, Little D. So once we summon that card to our side of the field, you have the copies of Mage Power, but we want to make sure that we summon both of them out to our side of the field and equip this one with your copy of Mage Power and Moon Mirror Shield. Set down your copy of Mystic Mind. You really don't need it right yet. Well, you can go ahead and activate it right now if you want to. You can go ahead and activate the Mystic Mind now just to be able to wait out the opponent, just to make sure they're safe because you have Little D on the field. So we have the copy of Moon Mirror Shield that's going to make this card always have 100 attack points higher than the monster it's battling, which is really good. And the copy of Mage Power, which is boosting it up by 1500, boosting up to 2600, which is already insane. So we're going to pass back over to the opponent. They're going to go ahead and they're going to do whatever they need to do, but they're not going to be able to get through this card. So we're going to go ahead and draw for turn, which is another copy of Moon Mirror Shield, which we're going to equip onto the second one, which this is just pretty much game at this point. There's no way they're going to be able to out 2 of these with Moon Mirror Shields on both of them. Let's just go ahead and do this really quick so you guys can really get the full effect. We have double Moon Mirror Shield and double Little D, which is just really cool. But we're going to go ahead and put these back because that's the zones that we placed them in originally. And we're going to go ahead and draw for turn because our opponent's going to pass back over to us. We're going to offer them the high 5 with the left arm of the Forbidden One and the handshake because they know they've already lost. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for the next one and see what we can pull off. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck again and see what we can do for the next test hand. As you guys can see, this deck makes quick work of the opponent, which is really, really awesome for this deck. I really like this deck a lot, and it's just amazing to be able to summon that super powerful boss monster to our side of the field. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck again and see what we can do for the next one. So we're going to go ahead and cut the deck and then see what we can do. So we're going to go ahead and draw onto a copy of the left arm of the Forbidden One, a copy of Terraforming. We already have a way to wait out if we don't draw on a Little D. A copy of Mage Power, Moon Mirror Shield, and Mystic Mind. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and activate the copy of activate the copy of Terraforming to be able to grab another copy of Mystic Mind just in case we need a second copy of it. And we're going to shuffle up the deck. So at this point, we're going to normal summon out to our side of the field the left arm of the Forbidden One, and we're going to activate the copy of Mystic Mind. So we're going to go ahead and pass over to the opponent. You can activate the Moon Mirror Shield, but I like to save it for the most powerful monster, Little D. We're going to pass over to the opponent. They're not going to be able to do much anyways because we have the copy of Mystic Mind, and let them go ahead. And then they're going to pass back over to us. If they do just try and summon one monster to match us with the Mystic Mind, that's totally fine, and they will destroy it, but we have a second copy, and they don't even realize it. So we're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of Little D. That's perfect. We're going to go ahead and normal summon out the copy of Little D. We're going to go ahead and equip it with the Moon Mirror Shield and the Mage Power, making it 2600 with the copy of Mystic Mind on the field, which you can activate it or you can set it, totally up to you. We still have the right or the left arm of the Forbidden One, and we're going to go ahead and attack with this card to be able to go in with about 2600 points of damage. We're going to go ahead and pass back over to the opponent and then pass back over to us. We're going to draw to another copy of Mage Power, which we're going to activate, which this card is now gaining about 2,000 points per Mage Power, which is about 4k. This card is sitting at 5,100, which is just crazy powerful for this monster. It was already powerful enough, but with it going up to 5k, like, your opponent might as well take the left arm and go ahead and shake it because they've lost. They can't do anything else against this. It's already so powerful. So we're going to go ahead and just say that they don't, and we're going to draw into another turn. So we're going to draw into a copy of Pot of Duality, which we're going to activate to be able to see if we can get into another card to be able to equip to him, which we did with Power of the Guardian. So we're going to go ahead and add that from deck to hand, which we're going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck. we're going to activate the copy of Power of the Guardian on top of our copy of Little D, which now it's going up by 2,500 per copy of Mage Power, which is already just absolutely nuts. This card is at about 6,100 now, which this card just totally gets out of hand, haha. And we're going to go ahead and just be able to attack again, which now is going to go up by an additional 500, which is just really good for this. And now it can't be destroyed by card effects either or by battle, which is just really insane, but it wasn't going to anyways with our copy of Moon Mirror Shield. This card is just so good and just really insane to be able to just equip it with all these equip spells. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for at least one more test hand and see what we can actually pull off, because as you guys can see, this deck is just absolutely consistent. Oh, and if you do feel like you're basically going in at the opponent too much, you can flip the copy of Mystic Mind to give them a little bit of a break, which is totally fine, because they can out it if they summon 2 monsters to your side of the field or their side of the field to be able to destroy that card, which is really, really good. So let's go ahead and shuffle up the deck again and see what we can do for the next one, because as you guys can see, the deck is extremely consistent. It's absolutely nuts to see how powerful this deck actually is, being able to summon out the most powerful card in the game. So we're going to go ahead and see what we can do. Go ahead and give the deck a quick cut. We're going to go ahead and shuffle it one more time and see what we can do. So we're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of Archfiend's Staff of Despair, Mage Power, Moon Mirror Shield, the Starbow, and a copy of Pot of Duality. So we're going to activate the Pot of Duality. We don't have our boss monster, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and look at the top 3, which is a left arm of the Forbidden One, Little D, and a left leg of the Forbidden One. But we're just going to go ahead and grab the copy of Little D. You guys know it. We're going to get our boss monster. Why would you grab anything but your boss monster? Like, you don't need anything but this. Like, you just don't. Maybe the sandwich in between rounds. You might need the sandwich in between rounds. It depends. Maybe every other round. But this card you need every single game. You've got to get to this card every single game because it is extremely important to get to. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle up the deck. And once we shuffle up the deck, we're going to go ahead and give it a quick cut. And once we do, we're going to go ahead and normal summon it out to our side of the field. And then your opponent is usually at this point just going to go ahead and scoop because you normal summon this out to your field. But if they don't, you can slowly activate each equip spell just to show them that you know what you're doing. So we're going to go ahead and activate Archfiend of Despair. So, you know, we're going to wait. We're going to see if they go ahead and scoop. They don't. Okay. We're going to activate the copy of the Starbow. Okay, they still didn't. Okay, that's fine. We can keep playing. We can go ahead and activate the copy of Moon Mirror Shield. Okay, we're going to save the best for last. And we're going to activate the copy of Mage Power. So at that point, when you activate the Mage Power and the copy of the Bow, they know they can't get out of this. This card's at 2,100 and it's attacking directly. Like, they can't. So you're just going to attack directly with this card and they're going to lose game. Like, that's it. So we're going to go ahead and let them go ahead just to see if they can do anything. They're not going to be able to, but we're going to go ahead and draw. And we're going to draw into the copy of the right arm. And we're going to go ahead and offer them the handshake with this card. But if they don't, that's okay. We can just go in again for another 21. And we're going to go ahead and pass back over to them. They're not going to be able to do anything again. We're going to draw again. We're going to draw into the copy of Mystic Mind, which we can go ahead and activate just in case we want to give them the chance to be able to just, you know, go ahead and give up the game. But that's okay if they don't. We're going to go ahead and set the copy of Mystic Mind to our side of the field, which this is going to go up to 2,600 attack points at this point because 5, 10, 15, 20, plus the copy of 100 on this card because the copy of the Bow is going to drop it by 1,000. And then we have the copy of Mystic Mind, which is going to be an additional 500. So this card is at 2,600. Attack again, and then go ahead and pass back over to them. If they still can't out this card, which you're, again, not going to be able to, most powerful card, we're going to go ahead and draw for turn, which is another copy of Moon Mirror. We're going to go ahead and activate the second copy of Moon Mirror, which now this card is going up by 3k. And then we're going to attack again, pretty much almost for game. At this point, we're going to go ahead and pass back over to them. And we're going to draw for turn one more time and see what we get, which we don't even need to activate this card. We didn't need to begin with because we already had the most powerful monster. Swing directly for the last time and win the game. They knew from the beginning when you normal summon this, they weren't going to win, so that's okay. So I think that pretty much does it for the test hands for this, guys. As you guys can see, this deck is the most consistent deck. I love this deck so much. It summons out the most powerful boss monster, Little D, to your side of the field. It's extremely consistent in getting it out to your side of the field, which is really nice. And it's just a really fun deck. It's really amazing. If you guys would like to check out the deck profile, it is down in the description down below. If you guys would like to check that out, definitely do so because you guys know you want to play the most powerful deck ever created. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and see you in the next video. See you later, guys.